So I've been spending a lot of time with the new Money Fronts DLC over the last week, and the more I dig into it, the more I realize that we're only scratching the surface in terms of what changes Rockstar has made to the game, because believe me, this DLC goes a lot farther than just a couple new businesses, and nobody seems to really be talking about how Rockstar has essentially upgraded the GTA Online experience as a whole. There are a ton of new gameplay features, quality of life improvements, and buffs to existing businesses hidden in here that you're not going to find just by reading the patch notes. And that's what I plan to unravel and explore in detail with this video. So here are the 10 biggest changes Rockstar made with the Money Fronts DLC and how they're going to affect your gameplay experience. Because I think the best feature of this update isn't necessarily the new car wash business itself, but the various ways in which it encourages you to play all the other types of content and experiment with your grind routine. Starting off things at number 1, we obviously have the new hands-on car wash, which is also a gateway to 2 other businesses, the Higgins Helicopter Tours and Smoke on the Water Grass Dispensary. You can buy all 3 of these for under $3 million combined, which honestly is an absolute steal in the current era of GTA inflation, especially when you consider that you're generating anywhere from $350,000 to $400,000 per hour with each of these businesses. There are over 20 new mission types to explore, including the new Mr. Faber work missions, and at the time of me recording this video, we have that 2x cash bonus on the money laundering missions, and so if you have a fast vehicle like the Oppressor Mark II or a Sparrow, you can actually make over $800,000 an hour during this first week of release. No issues at all. But money making is only one aspect of these new businesses. They also come with a few perks that make your overall experience a lot smoother. Like for example, you can just call Raph and get new money laundering missions on the phone. And if you don't like the mission that you've just received, just load into a different session and call him up again, because there's 0 cooldown on starting another. Plus, you can use your car wash as a spawn point, so if you have some other businesses nearby, you can work your car wash stuff into your grind routine by spawning in, doing a couple of money laundering missions just to fill up that heat bar, and then dump all the heat with a single car wash before transitioning to other content that you want to get done during your gameplay session. With the Higgins Helicopter Tour business, that's going to let you spawn in any personal helicopter or even a Pegasus vehicle almost instantaneously. This is a feature they've carried over from the Mackenzie Airfield hangar, and that was also introduced with the Oscar Guzman update. And sure, it's limited to only helicopters, but remember, this business is called Higgins Heli Tours, not Higgins Aircraft Tours. And number 2, we've got buffs to existing businesses like the Grass Farm as well as Counterfeit Cash Factory, both of which were mediocre MC businesses before this update, but now with the 35% buff to sell missions, they're actually worth grinding because you can make over $500,000 with a full bar of product, and the nice thing is that you don't even lose that much money if you restart to get a single sale vehicle, so now both of these are viable for solo grinders. Rockstar has made another quality of life improvement to MC businesses that makes sell missions so much better, and I'm going to discuss that a little bit later in today's video, but for now, know that if you own the car wash as well as the smoke shop, you are going to be buffing your Counterfeit Cash Factory as well as your Grass Farm respectively by 35% each. And if you own Higgins Helicopter Tours, your hangar air cargo value is going to be improved by 10% on the sale. So now you can make up to $300,000 extra with that business, which is just absolutely awesome both for new as well as returning players to GTA Online. And speaking of returning players, you guys will be very happy to know that Rockstar is reintroducing some old favorites like the Anis Helion, the Dinka Akuma, the Ubermax Zion Classic, and Shafter LWB Armored. These are just a few of the vehicles that were removed from in-game websites with the San Andreas Mercenaries downgrade. I can't even call that an update. And during the last 2 years, we occasionally saw a few of them making the rotation during special events to the test track at the car meet or even Simeon's car dealership, but now they're finally available again for general purchase at all times, and they're actually even better than before because you can also install Amani Tech upgrades on these returning vehicles, so the Oppressor and Deluxo kitties are about to lose their last 2 remaining brain cells as they try in futility to lock onto these vehicles and hurt themselves in confusion. You can also check the full list on Rockstar's official blog, but in total we have 26 returning vehicles that are eligible for Amani Tech upgrades and 24 existing vehicles that have also been modified to accept Amani Tech in general. So if you don't already have an agency, I suggest you get one right now, because not only is it a buff to all these vehicles, but these vehicles will also give you yet another reason to own an agency, which was already an excellent business before this vehicle overhaul, but it just got even better thanks to so many new vehicles being eligible for that lock-on jammer upgrade. Rockstar missed out by not giving us the option to install a jammer on the armored Kuruma, which sorely needs this feature to be more than just a PvE vehicle, but hey, at least you can install a jammer on the regular Kuruma, and pray to God that your opponent doesn't read patch notes, because he might be be fooled into thinking you're in an armored Kuruma when his homing missiles don't work against you. Oh, and by the way, you might notice that a few vehicles have received name changes as well, namely the Jester RR widebody, which is now called the LSCM Jester RR, and it even lets you remove the default livery, which I know some people don't like on that vehicle. Anyone who plays GTA Online regularly might have already known about this name change, but one that does fly under the radar for most players is the Grotti Itali GTO Stinger TT. Well, that one has been rebadged as the Grotti Stinger TT. No more GTO prefix, but it is the exact same car, and it's one of the few vehicles in the game that accepts both HSW as well as Amani Tech mods, so that automatically makes it a tier 1 car in my opinion, and one of the best vehicles in this new update. And we aren't quite done with all the vehicle changes yet, because we also have a couple of other new taxis with this update. These are the drift-tuned Ubermax Cypher, funny enough, as well as the Anis Hardy, with the later one being one of the few cars that was introduced in this update. The Cypher already had a taxi livery, and people were begging Rockstar to make it eligible for taxi missions, so there you go. Now you can use the Drift Cypher taxi for taxi work, and as for the Hardy, it is also a drift car, so it's going to be interesting to see it be used for taxi work, and I bet it's going to be a lot of fun driving people around in that thing as it snakes all over the road like a drunk lunatic. Now, change number 4 is a big one, and I bet you guys already know about it by now. If you played Cayo Perico or Dr. Dre in the last couple days, that is. I'm talking about these skippable cutscenes, which we've been asking for several years, and nowhere is this more noticeable than during the second to last Dr. Dre finale mission, which took at least 8 minutes more than it should, only because of that super long cutscene in the studio, in which Dre and AP record their new track after you murder all of Johnny Gunn's henchmen. Then, once you capture Johnny, you're forced to sit through yet another long cutscene in the actual finale mission, in which Dre interrogates his arch nemesis and gives him the old golf club to the head before having you drive him to his helicopter like a good little chauffeur. Look, I loved it the first 2 times. After that, it just turned into one giant slog as you watch the same thing unfold over and over and over. Most people I know just alt tab and watch a YouTube video while that cutscene is playing, and now that's no longer necessary because we can finally skip the cutscene as a whole. And if you aren't able to skip it, don't worry, it does require at least one playthrough of the heist after the update before you're able to skip the cutscenes, so go through it and then give it another try. And this also applies to Cayo Perico, Autoshop Contracts, and the Doomsday Heist, along with many others. I haven't checked out all of those personally just yet, but there is one caveat here. You can't skip every single cutscene in the game, it only applies to specific ones. So for example, the one in Cayo Perico where your character rides in on a vehicle during the finale, you can't skip that, but you can skip the final cutscene where you hand over the goods to Madrazo and you have a drink with him. Similarly, in the Dr. Dre contract, you can skip the studio recording session and the Johnny Guns interrogation scenes, but I don't really think you can skip some of the minor cutscenes in the first 3 acts because those might be used to disguise loading screens. Either way, changes like these make the agency so much better now, and combined with all the new Amani Tech vehicles, this is exactly what I was talking about earlier when I said that the biggest improvements in the Money Fronts DLC aren't limited to the new car wash business, rather they're realized through quality of life updates to other businesses and heists that already exist inside of the game. And number 5, we actually have new gameplay mechanics, and these include lockpicking as well as attack dogs, which I do suspect Rockstar might introduce in GTA 6, and so right now GTA Online is sort of acting like a testbed for all these new systems so they can get an idea of what players like and don't like. We did see attack dogs in some of the Moonshine story missions in Red Dead Online, and personally I do appreciate the attack dogs as a feature, as they do provide new challenges for the player, and they also force you into making a choice before each assault. Do you attack head on because these dogs can face tank multiple assault rifle rounds to the head, or do you sneak into the compound and feed the dogs to keep them in a passive state? By the way, you can even pet the dogs, which is a welcome addition, and it is a nice change of pace from shooting and blowing up everything in your immediate field of view. Some of Mr. Faber missions also allow you to get additional loot on top of the base payout by searching the nearby area for hidden drug packages or valuables, and I've also noticed here that they brought back the word scramble hack from Project Breakaway and that FIB file, so that might become a more common mechanic in future GTA Online heists and contact missions. And that's not the only new content that we'll be getting, because thanks to a few data miners on Twitter, it's pretty much confirmed that mansions will be coming to GTA Online in the winter DLC, and it looks like these will be tied to the Mr. Faber storyline, because there's an entry in these files which says that you can visit one of the properties to help Mr. Faber's client with their luxury property development. So maybe we'll do a Mr. Faber mission which then unlocks a mansion for purchase? I don't know, I'm just guessing here, but it is very likely that mansions will be coming to the game in the winter DLC update, and maybe maybe we'll even get to launch certain missions from those like we did with high-end apartments and OG Heist back in the day. We also have images of what some of these mansions might look like, and you might want to start saving up money right now because these are massive properties which will likely cost as much as a super yacht or Luxor Deluxe, and then you might get a bunch of super intricate customization options for the interiors, so spending $8 or $10 million on a top-of-the-line mansion isn't really outside the realm of possibility here. Now, one feature that got shadow dropped with the new DLC and isn't mentioned all that often is the Quickie Farm delivery side hustle, and this one is completely free. Any player can access it, you don't need to buy a property, and you don't need to bring your own car for the deliveries because Quickie Farm will provide you with a new Ubermacht Sentinel GTS, which is one of the cars that released with the Money Fronts DLC, and that's going to help you out with the deliveries. The location for the Quickie Farm depot is in Pillbox Hills, about a mile away from your car wash, and it is marked with a black star-shaped icon on the GTA map. Now, I don't know how many of you guys have played Need for Speed Most Wanted, but the Quickie Farm courier work functions similarly to the toll booth races from that game. You have checkpoints on the map that you must reach within the specified time limit, and if you make it there before that time, you get a bonus for the next checkpoint, and this continues until you make the final drop. Or if you've done pizza deliveries in GTA Online before, this is basically that, but with fragile medical supplies that will get damaged if you crash too often. You get $5,000 for the first delivery, $7,500 for subsequent deliveries, and it all comes out to $35,000 for close to 15 minutes of work, which isn't much, but you don't do Quickie Farm mission deliveries for the money. You do it to unlock the trade price for the Sentinel GTS, as well as one of the special Quickie Farm liveries. Now, there's also a first responder award that you can get for completing all deliveries in under 10 minutes, but you can't really rely on GPS for this one, as it requires you to take a few shortcuts, so you'll definitely need an intimate understanding of the map of Los Santos to make the route in under 10 minutes. Change number 8 is one I bet most of you don't really know about, and it's the long-awaited nerf to remote-controlled vehicles. First off, you can no longer spam RC cars one after the other. They now have a 5-minute cooldown period, so if you're tired of griefers disappearing from the map and spawn camping you with an RC tank, well, those days are now over. This does apply to RC Banditos, the RC tank, as well as personal RC vehicles. All three of them have separate cooldown timers, but it's 5 minutes for all three. And here's the even bigger change. A single EMP blast will now kick you out of the RC car. So if you were fed up with people trolling you with their Ocelot virtues while tanking a dozen RPGs to the face, now you can deal with them by simply using your compact EMP launcher. I believe this also works with EMP mines as well, although I haven't really tested that one personally, but I do know a single hit from an EMP launcher will disable the RC vehicle and put it on a 5-minute cooldown as well. And as soon as that happens, you can hunt down that player who is trolling you by heading straight to his icon on the minimap because he can't hide from you anymore. We also have a few quality of life improvements, chief among which is the removal of all boxfill sell missions from MC businesses. I know a lot of people didn't play MC content specifically because of the stupid post-op vans, and now, thankfully, they've been removed, which instantly makes MC stuff a lot more fun to play. Also, remember that little makeshift airfield that Rockstar added in Tongva Hills with the Agents of Sabotage DLC drip feed that we used for the Mogul setup with the Oscar Guzman Flies Again storyline, and it didn't really seem like it had any other purpose? Well, now you can use the Eberhard munitions airstrip to spawn your personal aircraft, even humongous ones like the Titan or even the Alkonost. Rockstar has also fixed a few glitches with vehicle customization, so for example, the Terminus would have had missing window panes on the back if you swapped out roof options, but now that's been fixed, and the Firebolt ASP can now be used for HSW time trials, provided that you've installed the HSW mods. The Terabyte collectible scanner has also been fixed, so you won't see blips for items that you've already picked up, and the base rate for AP in Arena Wars has also been updated, which is a really nice improvement, but honestly, I still don't think this will motivate anyone to join up for Arena Wars. Arena Wars already needs a significant overhaul to its entire payout structure and content variety to encourage new players to join up, and I don't really see Rockstar putting in that much effort for this business, especially when they could use their resources to create an entirely new DLC instead, but it is a decent and welcome change if you're already playing it. And then finally for number 10, this is one that will encourage a lot of you to do more public deliveries and go for that high demand bonus. Rockstar has now made it so that the global signal delay on cell missions lasts for 60 seconds instead of just 15. This means that combined with the ghost org ability from your CEO menu, you can hide yourself as well as your cargo for a total of 4 minutes. That may be just enough time to do an entire MC delivery or even a bunker sale without griefers blowing up your vehicle. And if it's a full lobby, you'll even get that 50% high demand bonus on all sales, so it's definitely something something to think about right there. But there you have it. Those are the top 10 changes that Rockstar made with the Money Fronts DLC, and I think my personal favorites are the quality of life improvements as well as the buffs to MC businesses. Combined with all the new vehicles, the Amani tech upgrades, and the various bug fixes, this is one of the most expansive updates that Rockstar has released over the past several years, and it definitely improves the entire game for both new and returning players by making all the content in this game more approachable. Cutscene skips, cell mission buffs, RC car nerfs, and new gameplay mechanics. We haven't seen an update like this in a long time, and I personally can't wait to see what the winter DLC brings for us, because if it's more of this stuff, then I'm definitely all for it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Check me out on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, specifically twitch.tv/hazardoushtv for daily GTA Online live streams. Reference my YouTube shorts and TikToks for daily short form rapid fire tips, tricks, news, tutorials, guides, updates, leaks, and more. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next GTA 5 online video. Adios, amigos.